Shame on them. And speaking of shame, the Oscar goes to...
And the Oscar goes to No Other Land.
Isn't the basis of any documentary meant to be fact? As in, that's what sets it apart from make-believe, fantasy, or like a fairy tale. This documentary did not present a real depiction of anything, let alone the issue of conflict between Israelis and Palestinians. Hollywood has become such a farce, such a meme, such a deluded group of people who seem to seriously, and I genuinely believe they believe this, that they are holier and mightier than all others. They clearly have forgotten that they pretend to be other people for a living. That's what they do. And yes, some do it really, really well, I acknowledge that. But even being the greatest actor in history does not elevate you or your often naive perspective above anyone else's. If they practiced what they preached without fear or favour, then fine. But they all say they care deeply about the oppressed, the persecuted, minority groups. Except for, yes, you know where I'm heading with this, except for Jews. And if you are selective with your humanity, then you have no credibility in this space. You care for all children, or for none. For all women, or for none. For all minority groups suffering persecution, or for none. And let me save those of you getting hot under the collar and preparing their little "what about the kids in Gaza" lines again for the millionth time. If you care about kids in Gaza, and I do deeply, then you must do everything in your power to help eliminate the terrorists responsible for their deaths, their pain, and their suffering. Freeing Palestinians, yes, is paramount, but not from Israel, from Hamas. How is this so difficult to understand? I will never comprehend. It is so obvious. Again, Hamas has promised to publicly never stop killing Jews and Israelis. Over and over and over again. Oh, and they practice what they preach, as we've all seen. Peace is impossible with a group who has this as their mission statement. Next year, my vote for the Oscar for Best Documentary goes to the raw vision of October 7. No twisted narrative, no calculated editing, no misleading omissions, just raw vision, most of which came from the terrorists themselves. Raw vision of Hamas torturing and murdering innocent men, women and children. But yeah, free Palestine from Israel. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. You Hollywood types stood loudly and proudly for Black Lives Matter, for women's rights, the whole Me Too movement, for trans rights. Why not for Jewish rights? They were slaughtered and the vast majority of you are silent. They're still in captivity and being slaughtered right now in real time. I don't get it. You demanded justice for women who had to reject a sexual advance in a newsroom, and rightly so, but didn't even whisper so much as an objection to women who were raped by terrorists. Useful idiots, the vast majority of you.